Well, let's take a look at Division 4 in the state tournament, and we have 3 local teams in that division as well. We have number 10 Norfolk Aggie will face number 7 Old Colony on Monday. They'll be in Rochester at Old Colony. Number 11 Southeastern comes to number 6 Westport, also on Monday. And number 13 Greater New Bedford Voc-Tech will travel to number 4 Blue Hills on Monday. So Old Colony, Westport, and Voc-Tech, three local teams that have certainly had a lot of success this season.
Well, Westport lost their starting point guard, pretty early in the season. Nikita Soar, she went out with a knee injury, but senior Kayla Vincelette, who was their shooting guard, has switched over to the point guard position, and she's done a really nice job. I mean, she's brought the ball up against pressure, and she's been passing the ball. And she's also a terrific scorer. She can shoot from the outside. She can drive and get into the paint and score and get to the free throw line. And they've also had a big contribution this year from junior forward Lindsay Wood, who's a really good rebounder, especially on the weak side. She gets a lot of offensive rebounds, and she's been scoring a lot of inside points for them. And Westport has done well. The end of the season here, they played some tough teams, and they were 14-6, and I think they finished as the Mayflower League large champions. So they've had a good year.
They've been getting key contributions too from a freshman, Layla Moran, too. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's a good inside scorer, and she can rebound too, and that's been a big part of their offense when they haven't been able to make the outside shot. But they do have some kids who can shoot the ball.
And Voc-Tech is it's the first year for Dave Harrison, who I know is a football coach.
Oh, yeah.
How's he been doing as a basketball coach?
Well, I don't know what he did to the Voc-Tech girls this year. I don't know what kind of switch he turned on, but they have just turned things around. They were 4-16 a year ago. They're 14-7 today. They're playing in the championship of the state vocational tournament, and they just have some good athletes this year. I was amazed at how quickly they moved the ball down the court yesterday. I saw them against Southeastern, and there were many occasions where they would just grab the rebound, 2 passes and lay up, and then they're back in their press looking to get the ball back again. And they just haven't had players like that in the past.
Now, I know most of the players that have done a lot of damage, Stephanie Antoine, Vanessa Consaccio, I mean, they're all sophomores, so, yeah. I mean, you can kind of expect, last year would be a year where they would struggle and, as they played varsity. But, I mean, to be mostly sophomores to lead this team, and, I mean,
they have a good forward in senior Laura Caterli. She's a dependable player. But you're right, Antoine is going to be a really good player in the next 2 years. I mean, if she continues to improve like she has. And Consaccio, just good ball handler, brings the ball up the court, and she can get to the basket, and she also pull up and shoot a jump shot. And now, like I said, Dave Harrison told me that the first thing that he talked to his kids about when he first took over was them turning up their defense. And they've been able to press and force some turnovers. And with the players that they have on offense, they've been able to turn some of those turnovers into easy baskets, and they're just running up and down the court and going crazy.
Well, if those girls have any WNBA aspirations, listen to Dave Harrison, because he helped Stephen Cooper get into the NFL. What about Old Colony? I know that's a team that both of you have seen on a couple occasions this season, and they were a team that was really piling up the wins for a while.
Yeah, they've had some injuries, though, too, and I know a couple of their players are out, and they're trying to do with the best they can. But before the season started, Craig Lincoln told me that he was going to have be able to go 10-11 deep, and I think their depth has been a big factor for them this season. I mean, they have a good player in junior forward Becca Mello, and they also have a pretty good outside shooter in sophomore guard Nicole Marrero, who has pretty good 3-point range. And they're trying to get her to shoot a little bit more, I think. But Mello has really been the player who's kept them together this year with their play in the paint.
Yeah, no, I've seen them a couple times this year, and I know one player. She doesn't start, but when she gets in the game, she's unbelievable. It's freshman Alex Gordon. She comes in with the experience, the basketball knowledge. You can see her, anticipating things, and like a step ahead of everyone else. She's going to be a great player down the road. I mean, when she comes in the game, she kind of takes over. And I think Tim and we were talking the other week. Their guard, Chelsea Souza, she suffered an injury, a concussion as well, and that's probably one of the injuries Ed was talking about. And she fell down, she hit her head hard. She did something to her neck, and she's probably not going to be back, unless they go deep in the tournament. But it's kind of scary to think of all the the concussions that the kids are getting this year.
And you don't think of basketball as being the sport where it's suffered, but
No.
it seems to be the one where it happens the most around here.
I've never seen a player get a concussion in a game, but it's happened. I guess it's happened a couple times this year.
Well, our best to Chelsea too, but I'll say this about Old Colony. I saw them last year. I saw them get bounced in their first tournament game, and it seemed to me like they were a good team that just had an off night.
Yeah.
And maybe now they've made that next step and they're ready to turn things up.
Well, I mean they are a young team. Most of the kids on the team are sophomores, juniors. They have the freshmen that play, but it's almost like they don't know any better. By being young, they're kind of naive. Like I covered the game last week when it clinched the a share of the Mayflower small title, and I was talking to the girls afterwards, and Coach Lincoln didn't tell them that that was on the line for the game because he didn't want to put added pressure on them. So they just came out and they won by over 20 points. And, afterwards they were excited. But, maybe not knowing is a little more exciting for them.
They didn't know until they went back into the locker room and got the officially licensed
cupcakes.
The championship hat and
The hat and the
t-shirts.
T-shirts.
And the cupcakes, too. They had cupcakes that day.
I think too. Glenn Lincoln, coached Westport to the Mayflower's large championship, and his son Craig coached Old Colony to the small school championship. So it's been a good year for both of them.
So why didn't you write a story about that, Ed?
Sounds like a good one.
I've been busy.
Okay. All right. So check out Ed Collins on the hardwood around the area, around the state, as he covers these teams in the tournament. And we look forward to reading your game stories, Ed, and nobody does it better than you.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Ed.